become self-employed and to start your own personal training business sounds promising and exciting. You don't have a boss to worry about, you're doing what you love, you can choose when to work, and you have the freedom that you wouldn't have in any other job. No wonder it's so easy to get trapped in this fantasy and forget that despite the fact that yes, there are a lot of perks and payoffs to being self-employed, there are also a lot of challenges that sooner or later you will have to face. From not getting paid on time or at all, to last-minute cancellations while you're waiting on your client at 5 o'clock in the morning, to tax return issues and sleep deprivation, these are some of the things that you have to be aware of well in advance. So in this month's video, I will give you 5 hacks on how to overcome challenges in your personal training business. Asking for money or asking for outstanding payments is a challenge that every personal trainer will have to face at some point. When we start in the business, we often assume that it's going to be a pretty smooth transaction between you and your client. I coach you, you pay me. Nice and simple. But the truth is your clients will sometimes forget to pay you. And when they do, it's on you to remind them that they are due another payment. Things get awkward when your client keeps forgetting to pay and you start to feel bad when you have to chase them for money all the time. And you shouldn't feel bad. This is your wage and you need to get paid. The good news is there's an easier way of asking for it. Instead of waiting for your client to forget or having uncomfortable conversations on a regular basis, you can put some time aside to draft simple generic email reminders that will inform your clients of any upcoming or outstanding payments. It can be pretty simple and it can read something like this. Dear client, this is a reminder that your payment of such and such is due tomorrow. Please ensure that the payment is made to such and such by such and such date. Kind regards, Kaja. Or you can replace it and say, your payment is now overdue by 3 days and requires your urgent attention. Please ensure that the payment is made to such and such as soon as possible. This way you're more likely to get paid on time and the time with your client can be spent training and getting results. As I mentioned earlier, there's nothing worse than booking a client in for a super early session and have them cancel on you at 4:55 a.m. Okay, 5 a.m. might be a little bit extreme, but if you're a personal trainer, chances are that you have to deal with some last-minute cancellations. And while there's not a lot you can do to get back your wasted time, what you can do is make sure that you get paid for it. And this can be done in 2 simple ways. Number 1 is something that's often overlooked, and that's to have an honest conversation with your client before you start coaching them. Be clear about the cancellation policy, when and how much they will be charged, and don't be flexible. Don't get trapped in the game of rescheduling the sessions and counting how many sessions your client has left, because too much flexibility leads to blurred lines and it can make your job extremely difficult. So be clear about how much your client is going to be charged if they cancel and make sure you stick to it. Number 2 is only offer block bookings, which means your client pays for a number of sessions in advance, and this way you can charge the no-show session from the already existing block payments instead of having to have the awkward "you owe me money for the session you didn't show up for" conversation. Again, we're back to point 1. You shouldn't feel bad about asking for money. This is one of those things that some of us tend to ignore until it can't be ignored anymore. At the end of the year, you end up completely overwhelmed by the amount of work that's required to sort out your tax return. But the good news is, if you start your year prepared, you will save yourself a lot of hassle. The easiest way is obviously to get an accountant, but that's not the only option. The easiest way to do it is to schedule an hour a week in your calendar to stay on top all of your admin tasks. That includes keeping your income records, tracking your travel, organizing receipts, sending out invoices, and payment reminders. To do that, you can use spreadsheets or you can pay a small monthly fee to use a booking system that tracks all of your expenses and makes the whole process a lot more easier. And an hour a week is really not that much, and it can help you avoid a lot of stress further down the line. Once you build up your clientele, there will be days where you will have a client at 6 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night. And while this is totally doable for a while, it's not exactly the most perfect long-term business strategy. For you to enjoy your profession and keep your passion alive, you can't make your life all about work. And lack of sustainable routine and structure is actually one of the biggest challenges that face personal trainers. Yes, you have to work around your clients, and yes, the most popular times will be early mornings and late evenings, but you have to draw the line. You have to schedule in your own protected time for yourself, and that could be an evening in a week or a late morning to have a line. Because for you to be a good personal trainer, you have to be a well-functioning human being in the first place. So prioritizing yourself, your own health and well-being takes discipline and difficult decisions, but the opposite is a complete burnout following a 6-month period of early starts and super late nights. So schedule in your free time in advance and don't live at the gym. A lot of people quit before they even get a chance to start, and you can see it also among personal trainers. It's not easy to get yourself off the ground, but if you're serious about it, you will do everything you can to stay afloat. You might need to have a part-time job while you start your personal training business, or you might need to change your gym 3 times before you find the place you feel like you belong to. Just keep going and commit fully to your craft. Nothing comes easy, and you need to be aware of that. Establishing a personal training business doesn't just require a lot of clients, it requires your ability to organize your time, both work time and rest time. It requires a lot of patience while you're trying to overcome all the setbacks and late payments and difficult clients. But if you take your time to organize yourself properly, know your boundaries, take time to rest, ensure that all the procedures are in place, you'll see that pushing through those difficult times will be much easier. Being a personal trainer is not easy. There's a lot of things to learn, and only a small part of it is actually about coaching. You'll grow as a professional as much as you will grow as a person. But don't expect quick results. Persevere and learn from every negative experience. And I will see you in the next video.